there, you snuck up on me. I was just doing some testing for one of our upcoming games. Well, that's a surprise. I didn't really have anything planned, but it's good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Hey, I think it's the anniversary of Silver Falls launching, so that's pretty exciting. I just wanted to send out a heartfelt message of thanks and appreciation to everyone who has supported us. It was such a rocky road getting Silver Falls launched and updated, and then 2020 happened, which was pretty crazy. That was a weird year. Uh, but hey, that's behind us, and let's look forward to a much better 2021. Let's all work hard and get rid of our pandemic bellies. And hey, we've got a few new games coming up. So on New Year's, well, it was New Year's Day for some people, and then New Year's Eve for others. I announced Vicarious Brothers, and I thought that'd be a fun way to just end the year on people who are still using the 3DS, give them something to say, oh, heck yeah, cool. So that title is registered with Nintendo, and so it has been given the go-ahead, and Vicarious Brothers will be done in Virtual Boy style. So it's a bit of a throwback and a nod to a console that didn't get much love. And we look back at it fondly. I think it's a very interesting console and an interesting way we experimented with stereoscopic imagery. So I think it's quite fitting that we bring Vicarious Brothers to the 3DS. Again, I'm working hard to make sure it works on all models. Um, and I'm also working on that for the Switch. So you may be asking, like, wait, I thought you're not doing 3DS anymore, because 3DS is a very difficult platform to make money on right now, development-wise. If you guys have been around for, you know, for a while, then you might be familiar with the development issues that we have. We use Unity 3DS, and unfortunately, years ago I was advised that it was robust, it was feature-rich, it was stable. Unfortunately, it wasn't any of those things, which led to huge issues developing for the 3DS. And over my last 3 years of experience working with Unity 3DS, I've found workarounds and I've created techniques to sort of avoid the issues, the development issues. But that means that I can't really devote bigger projects to the 3DS, and I can't devote a huge amount of time to that because I'm not really making money with 3 Down Stars, just to level with you guys. But I keep going back and updating it because there are still a handful of people who are purchasing it, and I appreciate that. And then there are the fans who still, message me from time to time, and they say they still like playing the game, and will there be more updates? So yes, there will be more updates for 3 Down Stars. The current state of it is I fixed a number of issues that were causing crashes in certain parts of the game. Sent that through to Nintendo. It was working on my end, hours and hours of testing, and it looks like it's still crashing for people, which is I'm very sorry about that. It's hugely frustrating. Again, not only are there weird issues, bizarre issues from the development side of things, but once it's out there to people, people are getting issues that don't happen on my end, which is really frustrating. So with my next update that I'm sending in for 3 Down Stars, I'm sort of going in with the hammer of Thor and just smashing things a bit. So I'm cutting back a number of texture resolutions and just sort of making sure, really extra sure, that potential bugs that could arise, even though they don't on my end, I'm just sort of smashing things down here now to make sure that when I do submit this next update to Nintendo, it's one that there's a very, very small chance that issues could arise. Going back to Vicarious Brothers, you might be thinking, oh no, you're firing off so many games here. Guardians and Metal Exterminators, which I've kept pretty quiet about because honestly I don't really want to ruin what that game has in it and what's in store, because it was meant to be a smaller game, and I was originally just going to launch it on the Switch. It was just going to be a fun companion title to launch alongside episode Watchtower, but unfortunately the year has been extremely trying. It's been exhausting. I don't really have it in me right now to finish episode Watchtower because I'm so worn down from an entire year of Nintendo not necessarily being cooperative with me and not necessarily helping me get my products onto the shop front. And I understand that it's just a difficult, complicated year. I don't hold it against them. They have to focus on their bigger publishers with bigger titles. which sucks, but I'm just going to have to roll with it. You know what? We'll get there one day. I feel confident that with the support that we have, with the titles that I have planned, I think eventually Nintendo will start looking at us and going, oh, okay, maybe we'll pay a little bit more attention to this developer. We'll get there. I believe in that. Um, with Guardians and Metal Exterminators, that's about 90% done with development. So I'll be submitting that to Nintendo this month. Undertakers, I submitted that back in September. Um, it's unfortunately caught in the cycle uh, of processing with Nintendo. But Nintendo of Europe, they'll be launching that um, in about 2 weeks, I think. I'll double check the date and get back to you guys. I've kept my head down working on development, so everything's a bit of a blur right now. I'll double check the date. But Undertakers is launching in Europe. Um, I'll contact Nintendo again once offices are back open and ask them what the deal is, and if Undertakers for North American regions will be launching this month. I really hope it is. I worked crazy, crazy hard on that game. I think people are going to have a lot of fun with it. Also, when you code link Undertakers and Three Down Stars together, you unlock Bull Brandish in Three Down Stars, and you unlock Maverick in Undertakers to be playable characters. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun for people. Guardians and Metal Exterminators. It features two characters that haven't even been mentioned in the other games because I don't want to feel like you know how in Avengers, sometimes they'll just randomly name drop, oh, Doctor Strange, and it's like, what? Why did you say Doctor Strange though? He's got nothing to do with the Civil War. So I didn't want the Silver Falls games to be like that, where it's like you're just name dropping every single character that's ever going to appear, which is a little annoying. Um, Guardians of Metal Exterminators will feature Oxa Boskova and Gold Prospector. And these two characters, this game's set in the late 80s. And they're on a blind date. So Oxa's friend has set her up on a blind date. She says, oh, meet this guy. So they are in Silver Falls on a blind date. Things are a little awkward between them. An explosion happens out in the field, and they go to investigate, and then things get a little more awkward in a Silver Falls sort of way. The game is very, it's mostly action based. You're leveling up and customizing your character and your weapons. Similar to Frontier Fighters, but very different style of gameplay. And it's a bit more streamlined, so it's more chill. So if you've got a couple minutes, you can open your 3DS and play. The game will work on all 3DS and 2DS models. Frame rate is a bit better on the 3DS, the new 3DS, and the new 2DS XL, of course, because there's more processing power in the new models. And the Switch version of Guardians and Metal Exterminators, I think I'm going to take an extra 3 to 4 weeks just to polish up the multiplayer on that. So again, multiplayer on the Switch version, and no multiplayer in the 3DS version. For Vicarious Bros, again, I'm going to keep that a bit quiet, but it's going to be a kind of a first-person dungeon crawler RPG, Vicarious Brothers. That game takes place in the mid-90s, so around the same time as our upcoming Switch game, Ghoul Busters, which we announced earlier in 2020. So our lineup got shuffled quite a bit because 2020 was a crazy year. We weren't where we needed to be financially in order to keep our target projects on track. And having to fight with Nintendo was so exhausting. It was so stressful and so exhausting. I couldn't work on the projects that I had planned, and I had to create smaller fallback targets so I could still be productive and I could still create something for the franchise, but projects that were less demanding, so I at least could do something productive. So some of you might have been wondering, why have you announced projects and then you started working on other projects? It's because of that. It's because working with Nintendo, having to fight them for all of these updates, for getting any sort of responses, it was so exhausting and demanding that it substantially affected my ability to develop these projects. The issues that arose that really affected our sales, the negative reviews that prevented people from picking up 3 Down Stars, that really affected my work. So I had to focus on smaller projects that I could get done quickly and that were less demanding on me as a developer. So I haven't really taken much time off. You might have been able to tell I'm putting on a pandemic gut. I normally do quite a bit of hiking and outdoor stuff, but I haven't been doing any of that because I'm trying to get these games done. It's crunch time now, and we really need to get these games on the market and making money, or it's going to be huge problems for the studio. But that's why I've sort of sacrificed physical fitness. I'm going to get these games down, get back hiking, get back on the bike, and get back into shape and feeling healthy. So I hope you guys have enjoyed that. Oh yeah, you might have noticed uh, I was holding an NES controller here. Um, in October, I launched Galaxy Bound Curse, which was a thank you to everyone. Probably most of you don't know this. I built Galaxy Bound Curse. I've never made a Game Boy game before, but Galaxy Bound Curse, I developed that in about 3.5 weeks during October. So I had submitted Undertakers to Nintendo, and I'm quite uh, by this point very familiar with the way that they communicate and deal with me business wise, and I knew that they were going to drag their heels on Undertakers, and I had submitted Undertakers in September, and I was hoping that it would only take about a month and a half for them to process it and then launch it. But the way they were responding, I absolutely knew that Undertakers was not going to be processed in the timeline that they tell me they were going to. And I felt disappointed, and I felt bad for all our supporters out there who had been expecting games, and then I said Undertakers is coming out. People are saying when, because you said it's been going to come out for a long time. I felt terrible, so I created Galaxy Bound Curse for free. You can download the ROM right now. You can play it on Game Boy hardware. You can play it on anything that you can play a Game Boy ROM on. It is a real Game Boy game. And I created that as a thank you. It's a free game. Just to thank Silver Falls fans for supporting the series so far, and to give them something to play so they can explore more characters and more story. I'm working on an update for Galaxy Bound Curse right now. It is still in public beta, but you can play through to the end of the game. There's a couple glitches here and there. Of course, it's beta, and I'm relying on people to email and DM and say, oh, hey, I found this glitch here and glitch there. So in a way, it's a bit of a community project as well, because I don't have the time to play through Galaxy Bound Curse because I'm busy working on the commercial games here. But Galaxy Bound Curse is every bit as important and canonical to the series. You guys may have seen I'm working on Infinite Frontier, and I'm not really pushing it that much right now um, because I'm sort of planning on focusing the marketing for Undertakers right now. But Infinite Frontier, I plan on that being developed and running alongside the series in the long term. So I have no plans to discontinue Infinite Frontier. The idea is, as new games are released, I can add major updates to Infinite Frontier that add new enemies, new mechanics, modes, playable characters, skills, weapons, all that good stuff. And Infinite Frontier has an RPG battle system. There's no world map or anything. There's no environments to go and explore. It's mostly battle based and equipment and character progression based. And it brings in all sorts of characters from the franchise. But when Infinite Frontier launches, I'm hoping I can launch that about the same time as Undertakers. Infinite Frontier will include characters from 3 Down Stars, Undertakers, Guardians and Metal Exterminators, and Galaxy Bound Curse. So you can see Galaxy Bound Curse it's just as canonical to the series and just as important as every other game, the games that sell. So I hope you guys enjoy that. When Vicarious Bros comes out, then again we'll add content to Infinite Frontier. When Deadly Shadows, I'm hoping Deadly Shadows, I can have that up by the middle of the year. When that launches, I'll be adding content for Deadly Shadows, etc., etc. So yeah, that's pretty much all the news that we have to share. It's been building up for a while. And I thank you guys for joining me. And again, I'm so grateful to you, all of you, for supporting the Silver Falls, despite the rocky start that we had, the issues that we've been having. I'm trying to get updates rolled out to Nintendo, but I couldn't have got to this point without all of you guys. So from the bottom of my heart, I thank you so much. I wish all of you good health, the best of fortune for 2021. And I really hope that we get this year under control, and everyone can have a healthy life, and they can feel safe and comfortable. And, we can start spending time with our friends and family in a way that we feel comfortable and safe. Thanks again, everyone. Happy New Year. It's so great to hear from you all. And I appreciate everything. So take care, everyone. Let's have a great year.